Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nothing Like a Good Book. Thank you very much for all the emails. I must appreciate, I really do appreciate it. And I must say thank you. It really means a lot. What really helps, though, is if you can rate the podcast, on your favorite app. And that helps us get more viewers and which in turn will get to more authors, which in turn we can help more. Okay. Because we're here to discover authors' books and to promote their book. And, along the line, let's get some sales in for your book as well. My site is up, Nothing Like a Good Book now. You can go to it. There's lots of info on it, lots of interesting books from the authors we've already interviewed. And there's a competition there as well that you might like to enter. You never know what you're going to get out of that. It's quite surprising. Today, I have a very special gentleman, and his name is Richard Cotto, but that's not his pen name. We're going to get to that. Hi, Richard. How you doing?
Good morning, Mark. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm going to open this with saying, look, what if the beast inside you was stronger than the man you've always been? Titus Wolff, he never expected his life to change in the blink of an eye. By day, he's a respected teacher, and by night, a DJ who spins vinyl to escape the monotony of his reality. But one fateful night in the foggy woods of Sonoma County, everything shifts. All right, Richard, you've got me. What happens?
So what happens is Mr. Titus Wolff slowly starts DNA starts changing, and that werewolf blood is coursing through his body, and turns into a wolf man for the next full moon. And my story is before while he's out, he thinks about where he's going to go because he doesn't want to get discovered. And so instead of staying in his apartment, he goes out into the woods in Marin County.
Okay.
And he goes out to the woods because he's not a killer. He doesn't know what's going to happen, but he certainly doesn't want to end up like the rest of the werewolves that he's heard about and seen in movies. So he goes out to the woods and he turns to the werewolf, and he has no control over that, loses consciousness. And right before he's about to attack his first victim, he hears music in her iPods. And because music is so embedded in his DNA and his soul, that music transforms his consciousness back to his human self. And he wakes up.
So we've got a twist here. This isn't a normal werewolf deal, right? So instead of killing, what happens?
So instead of killing, he spares your life, and he becomes a savior. And throughout the rest of the book, you're going to discover for each transformation, he saves himself, of course, because he doesn't have to kill and be hunted afterwards. And instead of that, he saves people, even those who are after him.
It's pretty deep. I mean, the transformation is agonizing for him. Mr. Titus, the protagonist, leaving him questioning who he really is. Mm-hmm. I guess the terrifying call of the wild pulls at his very, very soul. He's bitten by a werewolf. He wants to be out in the sticks. And with every passing night, he grows stronger, but he gets more dangerous. But there's a lot of twists and turns in this book, I can tell you. The stakes are high. Titus is his name. He's fighting for control. It might just mean losing everything, though, right? As he tries to keep his terrifying secret to himself. There's a lot at stake.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, his saving grace is the power of music. And he uses that as that he knows that's the only thing that'll keep him alive and keep him the way he is, of who he is. He's come to accept that when the full moon comes out, he's a werewolf, but it doesn't mean he has to succumb to those primal instincts of a werewolf. That, he uses his music to keep himself the way he is. Yeah.
Right. Well, I got to ask you then, how did you come up with the idea for this book?
So, Mark, it's a great question.
I mean, what I'm getting at is, hey, man, it's been done to death, or has it? And yours, though, that's a ballsy attitude. You're writing your first book and you're basing it on a werewolf.
Yeah.
But this guy's a little different.
Yeah. No, what it is, so I have this memory of hanging out with a friend back in Super Bowl Sunday in 1998, and on the way home, I had to drive through this country road, and it was low cloud cover, somewhat foggy, very eerie, very eerie. I looked out at the rolling hills. It reminded me of the Moors in a movie called An American Werewolf in London. Great movie, right?
An American Werewolf in London. Yes, that was a hit.
Yeah,
that was quite a good show.
It's my favorite werewolf movie. So it reminded me of the beginning of the movie where they're walking through the moors, right? And then as I'm driving, I'm like, home, I'm like, man, this would be a great place to get ambushed by a werewolf. So that memory stick with me until December of 2024. I was hanging out with some friends on a Friday night, and we're talking about old friends, and it reminded me of that memory.
Right.
And then after my friends and I, we all split up and went home. I'm driving home that Friday night, and I'm like, that thought stayed with me. I'm like, what if a werewolf did come out? It's like, I have a great imagination, right? This comes from reading so many books since I was a kid, and I love sci-fi and fantasy and all that. So that thought stayed with me, and I'm like, it would linger on in my brain. And so over time, after the next several weeks, I'm like, I got to do something with this. And I'm like, I don't know, create a werewolf story, but it's like, I got to find a gimmick. I got to find something that'll work. I don't want to create another werewolf story that has him becoming a vicious killer and then being hunted and then being killed.
Same old, because see, authors watch this, potential writers watch this show, and they're listening to you now. They're getting clues to say, well, I could do that. Why should I be worried this way when I can go that way? What about the name for your protagonist? Why the title, The Dancing Wolfman? So
the thing is, as I kept thinking of how to a gimmick for this, my son was taking a music class, and his best friend's a trombone player. So my son wanted to try a trombone. So he brings the trombone home, and he leans the case against the wall. And as I'm thinking about what to do with my story, I kept looking at the trombone case, and I'm like, bingo, music, right? And I love music. I love all kinds of music. So my guy has to love all kinds of music. So I incorporated, the power of music in the story, and that's what saves him. That's his saving grace, right?
So there you go.
There you go. And he dances because he's grew up dancing. He's grew up around music his whole life, and just because he turns into a werewolf doesn't mean he has to stop liking music, right? So it's like,
so you came up with the music idea all because the thing was put against the wall.
Yeah, something like
your
that.
Your son's case of all things. So why is your story though centered in the San Francisco Bay Area, especially in Marin County? Marin County. How come? Well,
I grew up in the Bay Area. I've been here since 1971, and a lot of the werewolf stories, the famous werewolf movies and stories, are centered in England. But I don't know England. I never been there, and I didn't want to write something of what I don't know. I wanted to write something I know, and I also drove limousine for about 6 years. A lot of wine tours up in Sonoma and Napa County, and I would drive by there a lot, and I'd see all the rolling hills in Marin County, and I love Marin County. I love where I live too, but I wanted to center outside of where I live, and so San Rafael to me, I love going to San Rafael and that whole area up there. Again, a lot of rolling hills, a lot of steep hills, and it's beautiful up there. So I'm like, hey, why not? I gotta center it somewhere. Why not there? And then hence, that's why in my book cover that you're showing right now, I put the Golden Gate Bridge on there to let people know, hey, there's a werewolf in the Bay Area. Let's get to know him.
I noticed that. It's quite unique. A werewolf on his knees. There's music coming out, hell of a full moon. And of course the Bay. But now, ladies and gentlemen, who's Rick London?
So I am a dedicated husband and father. I have a 16-year-old son. Again, he's my trombone playing son. I live in Pacifica, California. I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I love hard-boiled detectives, spy thrillers, and I love fantasy. And
there you go. There's nothing like a good book, is there? Right? Yeah. But this is obviously your pen name.
Mm-hmm. So Rick London comes from. I had to find a catchy name, Mark. So Rick is a nickname of Richard. Or Ricardo, my real name Ricardo. Richard's just in English, and so I had to come up with a nickname, with a catchy pen name. And at first, I'm like Richard Madrid, right? I'm like, that's not too catchy.
I don't think so.
And then I thought of the story, how I came up with music, right? And how I came up with the werewolf story that, England made them famous. And so I'm like, okay, hey, England, that's where the werewolf became famous. London's the capital of England. So it's my homage to England where the werewolf story became famous. So Rick London, there you go. My respects to England there.
Tip of the hat, top of the morning. Well, that's how it came about. So it is a paranormal romance, really. This poor guy, Titus, he struggles to hold on to his humanity as he navigates the brutal reality of his new existence. He's caught in a shape-shifting story. More of that every day today, where every moment, in a battle. He's in a battle every day with the beast inside of him. I mean, readers, put yourself in that situation and it happened to you. How on earth would you get on,
Yeah.
It's
I know,
scary.
huh?
It's a scary proposition.
Absolutely. I wouldn't know how to survive. It's like because once you become that animal, that's it. You're done. And
There's no way of getting out of it. It's like
no.
being
And
bitten
again,
by a vampire, right? That's it for the rest of your 1,000 years. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So the people around him, though, they must notice him change a little bit.
No, I left it where I put in my book only the people that he encounters, and he saves and he befriends. Those are the only people that know his secret. I left it at that because I didn't want yet to the world discover this power that's been given to him. In werewolf movies and stories, passes like the curse of the werewolf. As later on he finds out he's not cursed. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
And so he has to use that power for something else other than than killing. Yeah.
Now, every good story has a bird come into it, a love match. Her name is Nicole. Okay, you chose Nicole. Why did you include such a deep romance between Titus and Nicole?
Oh, you gotta have your love interest in the book. I've been married 16 years. My life would be bland without my wife. I wouldn't be the man that I am without my wife. So
there you go, man.
It's like
and every successful author, there's a good wife.
Oh, absolutely. So it's like I gotta honor my wife. I'd have to put Nicole. Nicole he has to have somebody to live for aside from himself, right?
So her goal through the book really is to love him and save him and support him, you know what I mean? Do the right thing. But I got to ask you this, it's only 156 pages only. But why such a short book?
Well, I wanted to get, it's in two parts, but I'm going to continue after that too. I wanted to get something out first as I kept working on it. And then when I got to that point, I'm like, you know what? I want to introduce the world to Titus and to what happens to him. And so my thought is continue working on the second part, volume 2.
Right.
But I wanted to get something out right now to the world and introduce this wonderful character in this world, and then have them enjoin us like, okay, Richard, give us the second part. Give us Ricardo. Give what's next, So,
all right. So from an author's perspective, your plan is a series.
Yes.
All right. That wasn't a werewolf behind you then. That was a putty cat, wasn't it?
That's my cat. He's hungry. He's always hungry.
Always hungry. So was my little doggy. Always hungry. Okay. So we talked about only 156 pages. How many chapters?
There's 19. I have a prologue, 19 chapters, and my epilogue.
Right. Yeah. And when you were writing this, let me talk about now your style of writing, okay? Because everybody's different. And I hear all different sorts of things because the show is also for up-and-coming authors, and I want them to take something away from it if they can. Is there a special way you learn to write with this? Or do you just sit down and pause out, or do you go and do a little bit and come back again? How did you attack it?
No, what I did is I went to a ghostwriting agency, and they would write something for me. I'd tell them exactly what I wanted, and they would write back. And I did a lot of editing, but each time I got another chapter, I read it from the beginning, and then I would include the chapter. And I did that throughout each chapter to make sure the story still flowed. And I didn't learn that anywhere. It just came to me. It's like, hey, if I want my book to be good, I have to be thorough. So each time a chapter came to me and I had to edit the chapter, I had to do believe me, I did a lot of editing on there and added my own writing in there.
Of course
each time I read it from the beginning.
A ghostwriter is to really support you and write the thing, yes, but it's your book. It's coming from your head, but a ghostwriter is also a professional. I'm talking about a professional ghostwriter now. They're up to, not the 1 and 2 cent per word charge ghostwriters, but the ones that are, then again, there are a couple, in fairness to them as well, but they charge a little more. But the reality is they're supposed to give you a quality, beautifully English spread book that is readable,
Yes.
But when you got it back, what I hear you saying is you played around with it, right? You changed things.
Absolutely, Mark. Absolutely. Yeah, no, like I said, I meticulously read each chapter, each sentence of every chapter each sentence of every paragraph of each chapter. I had to make sure that the story flowed each time a chapter was presented. And again, there was a lot of fixes because a lot of times I didn't like what was presented,
Interesting. Interesting. So in a case like that, you rewrite it. Do you send it back to the ghostwriter to fix it?
And I told him, please take this out. I don't like this.
Okay.
Write this like that. Or I would tell him, hey, or I would write it and say, hey, include this in there, take that out, and there you go. And that's my story. It's first time, but it's like, I think that comes from all that stuff, Mark. I think just comes from learning, from reading books since I was 8. Having it in my head.
The phraseology and some certain stuff, no doubt about it, is the way you think you should write. But if you took it out and you wrote in what it is, the ghostwriter would still have to try and rephrase it a little bit to make sense or to flow a little bit better. It depends, But when you send it back, is it literally, verbatim every word that you've asked to have put in? Is that put in?
Some of the chapters were, some of the stuff I gave back per verbatim. That's how I wanted it. There are certain parts I told them exactly this is how I want it. And then other stuff they would fill it in, and if I thought it flowed and it worked well, then I would leave it. The body of the chapter. But again, it's like every chapter, I put in a lot of my stuff and how I wanted it, and and it came out.
Excellent stuff, Richard. You've helped a few people. I guess you're working on your second manuscript already.
Actually, to be honest, not quite yet. I have the outline for it. I haven't started it, Mark, because right now my focus is on marketing this first book and getting it out to people. And, I want people to go to my website and leave me comments.
Speaking of which, let's put that up again now, because folks, if you'd like to buy this from Richard, dancingwolfman.com, you go to that website and there's a button on the website. It's a nice web page. It's a button on it for you to be able to buy the book. Okay. And that, I think it's actually straight through to Amazon, doesn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's not that expensive. What would it be? About $9?
So I got the ebook on Kindle. You could get it for $5.99. My paperback is $16.99, and my hardcover is $21.99.
Oh, hardcover. So you're doing that as well. So it's all right. The time I've got left, I want to talk about what other plans maybe that you have with this story and character. Perhaps a graphic novel series might be interesting. Videos, maybe making a movie, a screenplay and a movie of it. If you're going to do a series, that could be good.
Absolutely.
And we can make it right here for you in Tucson, Arizona, with the backyard of Hollywood, maybe. We've got everybody here, tons of writers, producers, directors, the whole bit.
Yeah.
As a coming-of-age supernatural tale, The Dancing Wolfman is more than just a werewolf story. There's no doubt about that. It's a mystery thriller where werewolves, the fantasy horror werewolf, lurking in the shadows of our hearts. And the fight to reconcile the person we want to be with the monster that we fear we might become. Hey, this relates to a lot of areas, doesn't it?
My book's a metaphor. I feel it's a metaphor. We all have a monster inside of us, and if we don't take care of it, the bad side's going to come out. I've had my bad moments, and so, it's funny, as I wrote it, I didn't think about that. But when the book came out, it's just one big metaphor. It's like, what do we use to keep our conscience and our morals intact? So, there you go.
So you write the book, you maybe do a series, you see how book one goes, and then maybe number two, number three. And if it really takes off, if people are telling you, basically, readers, yes, I want more. Maybe this Titus gets into all sorts of, terrific stories that as a werewolf only he could solve, maybe, or something like that. But, it's credit to you, Richard London. It's your first book. And I'm putting on my site, Mark Bishop Media, where all the authors go as well with their bio and a headshot and all of that. It's also going on my new site, Nothing Like a Good Book. So the interview will be up on there, and people can also have the connection to go through from there as well. So that's really good. Is there anything that you'd like to share with up-and-coming authors? Anything that you remember going through this routine that you can pass on, do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I'm 61, Mark, and my wife tells me, "Hey, you're a late bloomer." It's like, you know what? If you have an idea, no matter what age you are, if you have an idea and you feel that it's worthy of sharing it with the world,
totally
it doesn't
agree.
matter what age you are.
Age is only,
work on it. Don't give up on your dream. It's like I didn't think I was going to come up ever be an author, but this idea came to me, like I shared, and it stuck in my brain, and I'm like, it wouldn't go away. So the universe was telling me something, it's like, hey, Richard, here's an opportunity. Do something with it.
Right.
You know what? Come up with something, work hard at it, get it together, put it together where you can share it either in a book. And yeah, I do have plans to get a graphic novel. I think werewolves are great for the graphic novels, right? Because all the action scenes, the faces, the body, everything, it would be awesome, right? And I think my story is worthy for a movie.
Teeth.
Yeah, and the teeth, right? And I have that in my book. I have a great scene in there that it's perfect for a graphic novel. So yeah, I think my story is worthy for all different vessels of.
You never know. I mean, I have a sign up in my studio here says you never know what you can do until you try.
Exactly.
What the heck? But yeah, we do that. I have a company where I try to give work locally. We've got terrific writers and directors and producers, but they've got to go to LA all the time to get work. Mm-hmm. And it's a bit hard. So we do a lot of short movies, and but when somebody has a budget, not like a Hollywood budget, I'm telling you, even $1 million would be lucky to get you the food. But I'm talking about a realistic budget, and people ring me up, talk to me about that. And, you'd be surprised what you can make and what you can do. And that would be wonderful. You've got it for the rest of your life. But, is it always about the Wolfman? Do you think there's something else in you? Is there a romantic novel in you? Is there a detective novel in you, maybe?
I certainly don't. I certainly don't rule that out. If an idea comes to me and I feel compelled to come up with a story, certainly. It's like I think. Again, from all the reading I've done throughout my life, it's like the stuff that I love. Sure, I could come up with something. And I love romance, right?
You do? There you go.
I'm married.
Well, it's the number one seller.
I love my wife. Yeah, I threw romance in there because I just, the wolf needs love too.
Yeah, everybody. You need that, scenario between two people. A nice, female addition to it. Otherwise, it's be pretty boring, I should imagine. And okay, so what's the next plan? The book. Are you going to go around the country signing?
Well, slowly, Mark. I got my book's going to be at the London Book Fair next month in March, and hopefully, the
London Book Fair.
Find my book, because again, I gave him thanks for with the name, gave him thanks for making it famous.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna be at the LA Book Fair, the LA Times Book Fair in April 18th and 19th. It's the biggest book fair in the country, what I was told. Over 150,000 participants.
Whoa, 18th and 19th of April?
Yeah, I'm gonna be
In
there. And
LA.
I'm
Do you
gonna
know
go in
where?
person.
You know what facility or where at
It's
all?
at the USC campus, from what I'm
Oh,
told.
okay. At the
Yeah,
campus.
it's a big affair. The whole USC campus, or a big part of it, I believe it takes up like 4 blocks, 4 city blocks. Yeah, so it's huge, and a
Oh,
lot of
that's an
authors,
understatement.
publishers, people who
Yeah,
love
yeah, yeah, the whole
stories.
bit, the whole industry. I might even, if it's not too expensive, I'll try and get into it myself.
Yeah,
You
maybe
never
I'll see
know.
you there. It'd be great to see you
Yeah,
there.
I'm trying to launch nothing like a good book. So there we go.
There you go.
And add to that, I've got, I'm doing an extra little thing, but I'll tell you about that, write it to you. Lots of people just don't get time to write. They want to, so desperately they want to write a book, but they can't sit down and do it. I have a way for them to do it. And it's very easy, simple, and then I do the rest for you. So not a problem, and it's affordable, and you'll be on Amazon in no time. So there you go, Richard. I wish you well. The Dancing Wolf Man. You'll be a good boy now, Richard London. And although you're not going to London, the book's going to be presented in
Hmm.
London at the book fair, right there, standing out in front. And maybe
Yeah.
it'll catch them. Maybe the name London might just say, "What's that one about?" You know.
Let me check it out. Yeah, and Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure having you. It's I wish you. I love helping brand new authors, get underway, and you come back when it's number 2 and number 3. Okay.
Absolutely, I'd be honored. I'd be honored. It's an honor to write a book and to share something you love with the world, right? It's an
Yeah.
honor. So
My word indeed. So, all right, thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. I'm going to take that away, and I'm going to come back to me. Stay with me, my friend. So she downloads. Don't leave. And I want to say I must admit I haven't had a thriller mystery werewolf book before, so that's a first. We've had children's books, we've had doggy books, we've had all sorts of things, and you never know. Whatever you're writing, it doesn't matter. It's your baby. Comes from the heart. Get it on to nothing like a good book, all right? Don't be shy. And as I say please, for our listeners, if you enjoy the show, and I do get terrific emails, thank you for that. And I do get, nice comments and so on. But look, get onto YouTube, rate the thing, and, Spotify, Apple, all the shows, incidentally, don't just go on YouTube. They go on LinkedIn and Instagram and all the social media you can get. They go on about 11 or more podcast platforms as the audio version as well, not just the video. And then, of course, they get a lot of the shorts are done and leads are done. There's a lot of ways to marketing. Okay, so it's been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to having you. And as I always say, you be